All right, so today's topic is from Condo to College. It's an idea I just heard of literally yesterday from a lender. Shout out to Michael Libertini, who was telling this story about how he got into lending in the first place, right? He was trying to hack the system and figure out, what is it that all these successful people are doing that I'm struggling with? How do I become a millionaire, basically? And what is that path to wealth and success? And so he got into the finance industry to try to figure out what is it behind the curtain that's going on that all these people are getting there. And what he discovered was this really unique idea called Condo to College, and he gave me permission to share his little tagline. Basically what happens is, let's say you have a kid, and like I do, and we're trying to prepare for college, and there's something called the 529 plan. And I think a lot of people have heard of this investment strategy where it's tax-free savings if your kids use this plan towards education, right? But what happens if they don't go to college? What happens if it's just not the right path for them? What do you do with that money? Obviously there's an escape route for that, but you're gonna be taxed on it. And so another idea is to invest in a property, and you don't have to live in it, but this is an investment property. So even if you can't afford the dream home, but you can afford the little studio, let's look at that option. And using that property to actually fund college and give them a legacy after that. And so what Michael was explaining was he found a studio in town and he got it the month that his daughter was born. It was a really good investment. I think it's $400,000 or less. And the entry point to that is a lot less than trying to find a $800,000 property or $1 million home. And so there are multiple programs and routes for you with financing. So don't even think you have to have 50% down or 20% down or whatever that is. There's a bajillion of programs and different ways to finance this. But he was saying he used one strategy, got into the condo, ended up tax assessed lower than the actual property value because HOA was increasing. And he's like, that's fine. It doesn't matter as long as the numbers make sense. His goal was to net zero every month, meaning he could just break even and pay for it itself with the rent, right? So he's doing that and he's actually cash flowing on it now, fast forward at 3 years. Basically what he's saying, the intent is and the goal is to have that rented out for 18 to 20 years. So the whole time his daughter's being grown up, this property is paid for. And the goal is with the cash flow now to just put more towards the mortgage. By the time she graduates high school, that condo will be paid off free and clear. And she has choices. She's not locked into going only to college. She can it has 3 choices, right? 1, live in it while you go to college and it's housing. Number 2, you can sell it off and use that money to pay for your college, which hopefully by then it'll be about $400,000. Like for an 18-year-old, $400,000 is a big chunk of change you can use. Or number 3, she can keep it as an investment and use the cash flow to fund her lifestyle. The 4th option would be use that as leverage. You can then do a HELOC on that condo and put it towards the next condo or the next property or whatever it is. 4 options instead of 1. And I was just like, crazy, amazing, right? So how do we all do this? Number 1, quick recap of how to get started with investment properties. You're gonna wanna talk to a lender. That's always step number 1, pre-approval. And so what does pre-approval look like? Number 1 is just filling out their application form. And this is essentially just an intake form with your contact information. You're gonna sign a disclosure that you give them permission to pull your credit report. And then you're gonna upload your financial documents that show your proof of income. And so whether that's your last 2 months of pay stubs, or if you're a self-employed person, that means your last 2 years of tax returns. That's it. You simply upload it. You let them do their magic in the next 24 hours and you're gonna find out, do I qualify for something or do I have a little bit of work to do? And they're really good at helping you strategize and kind of laying out that roadmap for you so you can make the best decision. But even for me today, right? So I've got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. I need to be doing this. I need to be looking into how do I get an investment property under my belt that pays for itself? And it is possible in Hawaii. I know as much as the naysayers say everything's too expensive, well, you just have to run the numbers. And if you're not even starting the pre-approval process, how can you say that it's not possible? So once you get pre-approved, we have that golden ticket to go shopping. That's where you and I link up and make sure we feel really good about what we're looking with and what's the monthly payment we're really comfortable with in case the rent doesn't come through, in case your tenant backs out. You got to have a backup plan, but we're going to kind of strategize that. We find the house, we negotiate the offer, we navigate escrow, and we close and get keys, and you rent that baby out for the duration until your kids go to college, basically. From condo to college. I love this slogan. I love this campaign. I definitely want to deep dive into it more, and maybe we can do a webinar with Michael where he can walk us step by step through this and kind of really share his case example and numerous others that we can come up with to help make it more realistic. I know this is like this idea of like, well, that sounds nice, Marita, but that's not for me. but if I can show you exactly how he did it, I think it would start turning some wheels and get you inspired. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely hit me up on DMs or reach out to me via email. By the time we get this edited, we might just have a webinar link for you so you can register for that. But I think it's a super creative idea, and I don't know about you guys, but I like the idea of giving my kids 4 options instead of just one, especially one that pays them to keep it. So with that, give me a like if you guys learned something new, and I will see you soon.